Good afternoon, everyone. My name is L.M. Clinton. I'm the third grade reading guarantee administrator here at the Ohio Department of Education. I'm also involved in the monitoring activities for the CLSD grant. And this afternoon, I'm just going to give a brief overview of the monitoring activities and events and criteria for the CLSD grant. First and foremost, subgrantees will be monitored for adherence to federal rules and regulations and progress towards accomplishing performance goals. In addition, the monitoring system reviews all subgrantee awardees following the official award. Now, the methods for monitoring for the CLSD grant will be a desk review through the compliance tracking system. Everyone will everyone will receive a desk review through the compliance tracking system. Those of you who have never used it before, after the, who have never used it before for a grant with the Ohio Department of Education, you would get information about your role and how to log into that system through your district or organization's OEDS or OEDS administrator. In addition to the desk reviews, a select number of subgrantees will receive on-site visits. Also, there will be remote interviews. Given the uncertainty in our times with COVID-19, there may be situations where, in lieu of on-site visits, there will be a combination of desk reviews followed by a remote interview about the responses we received in the desk review. And these activities are scheduled to take place tentatively from March through May of 2021. Now, in addition to those dates or that date range, monitoring is an ongoing process. So we may also monitor the PCR activity and other things that are submitted in the CCIP. Now, the monitoring objectives for CLSD fall into four categories. 1, fidelity of implementation and plan alignment. 2, project goals and objectives. 3, fiscal accountability. And 4, partnership monitoring. And I'm just going to briefly go over the criteria for each of these four sections. So first, fidelity of implementation and plan alignment. This will be distinguished by grade band for whatever grade bands are funded. We're looking for high quality professional development opportunities, document evidence, as well as narrative responses for high quality professional development opportunities, evidence, documentation, narrative responses for training to develop evidence-based literacy initiatives, coordination of staff, families, and stakeholders in literacy development, implementation of literacy plan across all content areas. Also, documents, evidence, narrative responses for assessing the quality of adolescent literacy instruction as part of a well-rounded education, as well as evidence of providing planning time for teachers to develop evidence-based adolescent literacy instruction. And for each of these will be the criteria for both desk reviews, on-site visits. There may also be additional criteria added. The second section is performance goals and objectives. In this section, we would want documents, evidence and analysis of progress towards your project goals, RTF5 results and analysis, and your Ready Schools implementation plan, if applicable. The third section is fiscal accountability. For this section, we would request your budget and budget revisions for the grant year, a detailed BUD-led or budget ledger or transaction level financial report if you're not utilizing the state accounting software. In addition, we would want your inventory log of all CLSD funded purchases, as well as your district or organization's board approved policies and procedures. That would include your conflict of interest policy, procurement policy, equipment and inventory, and purchasing. Now, just some more specifics about the budget ledger, or the transaction level financial report. That should include the following expense details: the purchase order date and number, if used, the vendor name, the amount and date paid, and a description of the expense and the amount encumbered. The report should be totaled by each object code. And finally, the last section, partnership monitoring. This section only applies to those subgrantees who are the leads of a partnership. You must provide evidence and supporting documentation, ensuring that partnership members are meeting grant objectives. Also, description and evidence of the funds and services being provided to each partnership member. Also, ensure the partnership lead adequately documents and tracks expenses incurred by each member. So again, these requirements are strictly for those subgrantees who are the leads, who are the partnership leads. Now, in addition to the criteria I just described that will be in the desk review and on-site visits, subgrantees are also required to submit an annual grant activities report. In this activities report, we are looking for the following: progress on each project goal described in the initial grant application, the progress of participating 4-year-olds on the early learning assessment, the progress of participating K-3 students on the kindergarten readiness assessment, or the KRA, and Ohio State tests in English language arts for all students enrolled in the district or schools in grades 3 through 5. Also in the report, include the percentage of on-track, not on-track status of students taking the K-3 reading diagnostic assessment, the percentage of 8th grade and high school students who meet or exceed proficiency on Ohio State tests for ELA, the progress of participating students taking the OELPA, the progress of students taking Ohio's alternate assessment for students with significant cognitive disabilities, and a detailed expenditure report. So that's all the information for the activities report, and this report will also be submitted through the compliance tracking system, which by the time that the activities report and the desk reviews will be conducted, that will be upgraded. The IT department for the past 2 years, they've been working on updating that system to be a cloud-based system that is faster, more user-friendly, and more convenient. Okay, so those are all of just a brief overview of the compliance and monitoring aspects of the CLSD grant. If you have any other questions about monitoring, please reach out to your technical assistance provider or contact the CLSD email inbox.